Here we go. So that's exactly what I was talking about in our last week's video. This is freshly fallen because this definitely wasn't there last week. So yeah, so just be mindful of weak surrounding trees around you. Prime example there, like I say, this wasn't here last week, and then today it's down. Guys, this is exactly what I was on about last week. You've just got to be mindful of the weather conditions, because if it's really windy, you know, this looks like a pretty healthy, solid tree. And that has just been like snapped in half. So just obviously just be mindful. If it's too windy, just go in an open space or something. You know, don't go around where there's too many trees. There's so many other spots. You know, I like doing it in the woods, just because that's how I roll. But you know, you can try and find a field or a beach or anywhere. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of spots you could find different camps to. So if you're a bit nervous about it, don't put yourself in a situation where you know you potentially end up getting yourself injured. It's not worth it. You know, as much as we'd love to wild camp to that, it's not worth it. Find another spot, less trees, or just come on another day. You know, plenty of days to do it. So I was going to do the video in this part of the woods today, but even just walking into this bit, that's 2 trees that have been blown over overnight, or even today, I'm not too sure. So what I'm going to do is going to move to a bit more of an open location, just so I feel a bit more safe really. Like I say, there's no point in putting yourself in any danger when you don't have to. So yeah, let's go to the other spot. Hello everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode. So this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I personally think are the absolute basics that you would need to go wild camping. Like I say, this is my opinion. You know, I know sometimes you can look on, you look at the videos on YouTube and Instagram and that stuff, and you see all these people wild camping, they've got all this Gucci gear, and you're thinking, oh, I'd love to do that, but look at all this gear they've got. I'm just going to show you that you do not need all this fancy gear to even just get yourself started and just get out there. Just go on an adventure. Just do it, you know. Don't be put off by the equipment you don't have. You might find that you have stuff lying around at home. So without further ado, let's get into it, because it is miserable out. It is windy, it is raining, it is not cold by any means, but yeah, it's not good out here. So let's go. So first things first, you're going to need a bag. Now the bag I've just shown you is I've had that bag for nearly 2 decades. I've had that bag since 2006. It's sentimental to me. Like, I will never let go of that bag until like it completely fails, and it still serves a purpose to me this day. Like I say, you don't have to have fancy gear. I've had that bag since 2006. It's been to Iraq, it's been to Afghan, it's been through the mill, and it's still doing just fine, and it's more than capable of for what I need. So yeah, bag. Just use whatever you've got. Even if you've got a rucksack and you have to tie some little bits to the outside, doesn't matter. As long as you can fit everything and carry it, you know, there's no rules, like you don't have to have this and that to be able to do it. As long as you can carry it and you're comfortable with carrying it, take it, use it. So now let's dive into the bag. First things first, you're going to need some sort of shelter. Like I said in previous videos, I personally like to use tarps just because I like the versatility of them, and you can configure them in so many different ways. You can even turn like your tarp into a tent. You can have lean-tos, A-frames, all kinds of stuff. But like I said, I'm going to do a lot more on how to set up different tarp styles further down the line. So right now rain is starting to come down, so I need to get some shelter up ASAP. There we go then. So guys, that is absolutely terrible. That is shocking. But like I say, you just need to get, if elements come in, you just need to get some up, just so you've got some cover, and then you can adjust later on when hopefully it dies down a little bit, and you can readjust and remove it. But at the minute, that's covering me out of the rain. It's doing sort, he says. You can see how windy it is, you know. And sometimes these are just the things you're going to come up against. You just got to get over it and work around it. Find a way to push through. Also, this tarp is way too big just for bringing out yourself. Originally, when I was going to do this, it was going to be me and both my boys, but when the conditions are like this, they don't like coming out, and I don't blame them because they're only young. So if you are going to use a tarp, get a weight. This is like 4 meters by 3 meters, I believe, so way too big for me, way too big. Going to get a smaller one, a lot easier. Like I say, there's far too much material flapping around here. But we're not here to look at that. Like I say, we'll go into tarp stuff and that further down the line. Let's get back into what's in the bag, shall we? So what I've got next is just a little cooking pot. You know, you can boil your water in it, put noodles in it, boil in the bags. You know, nothing fancy, cheap as chips. Pot. Then we come to brew kit. More cordage in here should you need it. A little clamp to pick up, so you don't burn your little fingers. Look, really secure. Whee! Next, we've got some bungees. A lot of people don't like bungees, but me, they are so quick and easy. Especially if you're new to it and you're not good with knots and sort of stuff. I'm not very good with knots and things like that. So I'm more than happy to use bungees, and you can get up really quick as well, which is the key thing when you're first starting out. You want to be able to get up, set up quick, so you can get comfortable. So yeah, bungees. Make sure you've got plenty of them. I've got a lot more, but like I say, because we have to whip that tarp up, I'm using a few currently. So yeah. Next thing we've got is your sleeping bag. Absolutely key. You're going to need one of these. Sleeping bags we'll come on to in a bit more detail. But as long as you've got a sleeping bag to start, then that's all you need. Right, so in my little brew kit bag, I've got a little stove. Being the plonker that I am, I forgot to check the gas this morning and my little cylinder's run out, so that now becomes useless. See, do you know what I mean? I've been doing wild camping and this sort of stuff for a long time, and even I sort of get to check things, basic things which need to be checked. If I hadn't had a backup, that could have been, you know, that could be a game changer. That could determine whether you want to stay out or pack up and go home because you're not able to make a hot brew. Well, actually you could, but to begin with, you want to be doing it as simple as possible. Stove, gas cylinder, doing all your cooking on that. Then when you get a bit more comfortable, then you want to be like, you can move to like doing it over a fire and stuff. But like I say, That could have been a game changer in whether you carry on with the world camp or you just pack and go home. No hot water, no hot food, basics. Even I forget basics sometimes, but it's always good to have a backup. And let's see what that backup is. So in my van, I always carry a little stove, just because, I don't know, it's always in there, should I need it. There we go, nice little cooking ring on it. Gas canister goes on there. Close it up, lock it in, and then that's how you get her started. Bit of a pain in the butt having to carry that, but I'm going to be able to have hot water and I'm going to be able to have hot food. So, in my opinion, it's worth carrying it. So, like I say, what you really want to do is make sure you've got gas, enough gas for your stove. Then you won't have to carry that. Problem solved. Make sure you do a checklist, do the basics, and we'll do the food. And you'll have a more enjoyable camp. Because now, I don't really know. Sat here waffling now. Let's get a brew on, come on. Don't forget something to eat with as well. Nothing worse than having your grub and thinking, oh man, I got to use my fingers. Doesn't matter what it is. Pink, fork, anything will do. Anything. And then we've got your Billy Basic roll mat. Like I say, this is nothing fancy. This is literally a basic roll mat to keep a little bit of gap between you and the actual floor on what you're sleeping on. You definitely want some sort of barrier between yourself, the sleeping bag, and the floor, just to keep that little bit of heat in. But yeah, absolute Billy Basics. Right, so now that we've got a nice hot brew, we're sheltered from the elements, let's talk a little bit more about the items that were packed. So, just to recap, first things first, you're going to need something to carry all your gear. So whether that be an old rucksack or an old bag that you have lying around at home you don't really use, fit all your gear in that, just use that. You don't have to go out and buy anything fancy or new just to be able to carry your gear. You might not even like doing it, so there's no point in really spending too much money in gear, because you might not even like it. Maybe ask someone to borrow one. Number 2 is by far the next most important thing,
is your shelter. Whether that be a tarp, like I use, or a tent. It's completely up to you. But you just need to make sure you have something that's going to protect you from the elements. Like today, the weather is horrendous. Now with a tarp, I've just whipped this tarp up. If I was doing this in a tent, I have to set the whole tent up and faff about doing that, and that's just my personal preference. I like a tarp. I just find it easier, more ways to set them up, and lighter to carry. Like I say, that's my personal preference. Doesn't mean to say you have to use a tarp. You can use a tent. Loads of people use tents. It's completely up to you. Number 3 is something to sleep in. Like I said, you don't need to go out and buy any fancy gear. I've had these sleeping bag for years. I've not gone out and bought it. It's only a free season weather. Free season weather sleeping bag. So I don't go out and buy all the goose shit, because you can make up for that in layers. You know, if you bring a few extra layers with you, a wool blanket, if you can fit it all in, then that will aid you in keeping a bit more warmer. But if this is your first time going out wild camping, I absolutely would not do it in the winter. Absolutely not. I'd be looking to aim around probably end of spring, just breaking into summer. Just because, you know, you can't always guarantee the weather. UK in it, for God's sake. The sunniest day in the world, and then in 2 hours it's beating down. But that's just the way it is. I'd personally be looking towards the tail end of spring, summertime, going out on my first adventure. Is having something to cook with. So, like I showed you earlier, because I didn't check how much gas I had in my canister, I could now not use my stove, which is a pain in the ass. But hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. Luckily for me, I had a backup, but just make sure that you check these little details before you leave. So, cooking stove, gas, that way you're able to have, let's say, get some warm water, have a nice warm brew, cook your dinner later on, and life will be good. Number 4 is good old roll mat. Honestly, this I'm just using now in the bumble. So that's it on the wet floor. You know, nothing fancy, just your absolute basic roll mat. That should suffice, especially during the, like I say, first time doing it, end of spring, beginning of summer, get out there. Like I say, don't go out and buy those fancy gear, but just borrow something if you have to. You don't need to go out and, like I say, buy it. Ask friends and family if they got any old camping gear that they don't use or they're happy for you to borrow, just to try. Because like I say, you might not even like it. There's no point in going out and buying all this gear and stuff and then you don't even like it. It's pointless. One thing I did forget to mention is head torch. Absolutely crucial that you have yourself a head torch. Yeah, that can be a right ball ache if you haven't got any light, especially when you're out in these secluded areas, because it gets super dark and you just can't see anything. So, head torch. Make sure it's fully charged, or make sure every time you go out you put fresh batteries, or at least you have fresh batteries with you. So I say nothing worse than being out in the pitch black, fumbling your way, trying to get things set up. It's an absolute nightmare. Nightmare. Don't forget your head torch. And your gas. Don't forget your gas. Right, so I think we've pretty much covered what to bring with you on your very first wild camp. Like I say, this is just my personal opinion. A lot of it as well will come down to your personal tolerances. Like me, I hate the cold. Absolutely, I'm a lizard. I'm a lizard. If I'm going to be reincarnated, I'm going to be a lizard, because I want to be sat on the heat, I want to be in the heat. Don't do the cold. So if I'm coming out in the winter time, I am bringing as many layers as I can, and there is no way I'm getting cold. Not happening. But you might prefer to be on the cooler side. You might prefer to be in them colder climates. It's like I say, a lot of it's complete preference. As long as you're not putting yourself in like any dangerous sort of situations where it's like minus 10 and you've never done it, but you're going to go and do it, and you've only got the bare essentials, then I'd definitely look more into, like, you know, investing in a bit better gear. because you don't want to put yourself in danger, and you know, yeah, just don't do it. Not if you're confident in doing it anyway. Like me, I'm a lizard, don't like the cold, but I still do it, but I'm just a bit more prepared. Like I say, this setup is just what I reckon absolute basics to go and do wild camping. So it's completely up to you at the end of the day. And it is miserable. It is grey. It is peeing down. That wind is just howling. So I'm going to probably get packed up in a minute. Hopefully you found some of this stuff useful. Crap video, I know, but you know, got to start somewhere. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's built over a long period of time. Videos get better over a period of time. But if you did find anything helpful in the video, please like, comment, subscribe if you wish. Like I say, help us out. Don't have to though. Completely get it. Subbing to all these different channels, but you know, it would be appreciated if you would. So yeah, I'm gonna finish my coffee and then think about getting this wrapped up. Also, if there's anything that you want any more information on, or you've got any questions, drop it in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it. Like I say, I'm not that oracle, I don't know everything. I'm still on a learning journey. Like, I think you're always learning, you know, just, you don't know everything. I certainly don't know everything. I've got a bit of experience doing this sort of stuff, but not as much as someone else, and probably a little bit more than someone else. So it's just a journey, you know, I'm still learning. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. If I don't know the answer, I'm sure I can help you find the answer. But cool, man. Let's finish this brew and then think about packing up. You know, I had a really horrible thought that I just didn't press record on the phone. It'd be funny if I just done all this and recorded it, then you wouldn't know that. Legit, really. Yeah, I think it's time to wrap up. Wrap up the peeps! how else do you think I do these shots? I do about 20,000 steps doing this. Oh, I think I'll put you guys away for a minute because it is absolutely horrendous. I'm getting soaked, camera's getting soaked, bike's getting soaked, and I don't want to fall my butt. So, I'll see you back in the van. I'm not running, it's just really steep. The hood has got that bad, we've had the dogs on the hood. We've had the dog the hoodie boys. I thought I had a little snap earlier, but I wasn't too sure. Look at this. That's another one. And look at this as well. Just noticed this one. This must have happened while I was here. Well, if you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. And like I said, if you found anything useful, then give it a like. Drop a little comment if you want to. Hit the little subby button, that'd be sweet. But you don't have to, honestly, you really don't have to. But thanks a lot, guys. And we'll see you in the next episode, which will be, what are we going to do? I don't know yet. We'll have a think. But it'll be coming next week. Peace.